This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and special thank you to our sponsor, Sphere Rocket VA, for making another episode possible. And David, welcome to the show.
I was saying thanks for having me, and then now I want to talk to Sphere Rocket. Man, that was a great intro.
Yeah, they're really cool. And actually, for being part of the Icon podcast, if you do talk to them and you end up going through with it, you get a steep discount for being part of the show. So we'll send you details after.
I thought it was either that or I was sponsoring a kid in Africa. One of the two.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yes. Well, we'll get that sorted out at the end here, David. But that's awesome. Welcome to the show. Excited to have you. And, I guess the best way to get to know you is to start at the beginning. Who is David? Where are you from? And how did you find yourself a real estate agent?
Well, so I had kind of a crazy path to real estate. I started out I went in the Marine Corps, and then I got out of the Marine Corps, and I figured that wasn't crazy enough. So then I became an iron worker. And then as I was an iron worker, I realized working outside and almost dying every day just to build a building was pretty stupid. And so then I saw some people doing real estate, and it was like, that's pretty interesting. That was 12 years ago, and took the course, passed the test, and then started my real estate journey in 2009, which everybody knows was like the kind of the dumbest time to start in real estate. I mean, it was,
but I hear a lot of people start then. So you're not the only one. A lot of icons did start then. It was dumb, but here you are.
I think it's because we learned through the hard knocks, right? Like it wasn't easy then. You had to work, you had to grind. Not everybody could buy a house, and you end up showing 20, 30 houses to people in over 2 or 3 days. So, but I'm in Washington State. I have a small team now. I have 3 buyers agents and staff. And yeah, we're in Pierce and King, Thurston County, also in Mason and Kitsap.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what a journey to real estate you've had. And, bet you're glad you're here all these years later and not in a recession and in a really crazy time for real estate. So, David, tell me, was EXP your first brokerage, or how was EXP introduced to you? What made you make that leap of faith?
So I came to EXP. So let me first I was with Keller. Well, very first I was with a small brokerage for like 2 months, the one that trained me. And I realized I was going nowhere. So what did I do? Everybody's going to Keller. Let's go to Keller. So I went to Keller Williams, loved it, learned a lot. I started teaching classes probably 3 months in, 3-4 months in. I was teaching how to call expireds. And I really learned that I'm pretty good at this real estate thing. And then I had some things happen in my life where I had to take a step back from, I didn't necessarily do real estate full time. I still did real estate, but I took also another sales job. I actually ended up getting full cuts to my children and stuff like that. That's a whole nother story. But so I had to do 2 things at once. So I continued doing real estate, and then I worked this other job. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I realized this is silly. Let me just go back into real estate full time. I was still selling houses, and it was just becoming even more complicated to do both. So I jumped back in, and I went to a little boutique brokerage when I did that, by the name of First Point Real Estate. It's just one office, local, and started excelling, became the number 1 agent in that office. I did that for about 2 or 3 years there. And I said, I wanted to grow a team. And I said, all right, I want to grow a team. But also, like, I met with a guy by the name of Andrew Denton. He's a guy from Australia, and he's a big business owner, big property developer there. And I had a one-on-one meeting here in the States with him, and he said, David, you got to, what's your next step? in your real estate journey. And it really got me thinking. And I said, oh, what is it? I said, oh, I got to open a brokerage. That's obviously the next step. I got an assistant, got a very small team. My next step is starting a brokerage. So I started exploring that. And I was looking at Sotheby's. I was looking at John L. Scott, a partnership in John L. Scott with somebody that already owned a few, or a boutique. Those are kind of the three that I narrowed it down to. And in the midst of that, business planning, all that, I decided the boutique was the route for me. The franchise fees and all that, and the startup costs for these others were just astronomical. So I said, all right. So I started business planning and figuring out how much it's going to cost. And about $150,000, $200,000 investment to really get this thing off the ground and going over a couple of years. But then my friend Luke Weaver came to me, and Luke goes, man, I see this thing. It's called EXP Realty. It's amazing. And at that point, EXP had about 8,000 agents, five or 8,000, somewhere in there. Said, all right, yeah, whatever. I'm starting my own brokerage. You're coming there, so shut up, But he kept pursuing, and he kept looking at it, and he said, man, I'm going there. Might come to you after you move, but I think you should take a look at this. So he got me on the phone with Rob Flick. So Rob Flick talked to me on the phone, and that's when I started realizing, oh, let's look at this. And they talked about, the recruiting part of it, right? Bringing agents over. So then I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. This is at least worth looking at. So I started looking at it. And what I saw was in my business plan, I was going to bring on 25 agents to my brokerage, and I was going to make, whatever amount of money. I think it was $120,000 a year off the agents, something like that. But at EXP, zero overhead, zero costs. I bring 50 agents over, and I'm making the same amount of money. So I got to bring a lot more agents over, but I got zero overhead, zero risk, and all that. And I go, well, then I go back to that conversation with Andrew Denton, and I go, well, that really isn't my next step. I said, well, at EXP, I'm also an owner. Okay, well, then I'm also an owner, so that kind of makes sense. But and then I could start a team, and I could just have a little bit bigger of a team, and it's almost like having your own brokerage. So I did that. I had a couple other conversations. I met Glenn Sanford at an event in Bellevue, Washington. Had some other conversations, and 3 years ago, January 3 years ago, I made the jump over. So that was a long-winded explanation, but that's how it happened.
Well, welcome to EXP, and that's awesome. I'm sure you're glad to be here and not at your own brokerage with all that risk and liability, when you can build the David brand here, and you've got the bones and the brokerage and everything else to do it. You can build your own downline. It's just crazy. It's awesome, the opportunity that EXP provides you. People have even shut down brokerages that they've started their babies to come to EXP. So it's kind of exciting. You didn't pour too much into that before making the leap. You did it the smart way. And I guess, David, my next question would be, you saw what EXP had, the bones and everything. You're like, well, hell, I'm just going to go there. So what makes you say I'm never leaving EXP?
So I've been recruited. I've been recruited my entire career, but I've been recruited since I've been at EXP, and I'm like, I will always take a call from a high level person. I will always give them my time, because I can probably learn from them, and I don't want to burn bridges. I don't want to tell them, for lack of a better term, screw you, I'm not talking to you. So I will give them the time of day. There's an agent around here. She owns multiple Keller Williams. Her name's Pam Ranch, and I will always give her time because she gave time to me. And there's so Compass has come after me, and Compass came hard. Compass, I don't know if I'm probably allowed to say it. They threw money at me. Okay. Yeah. So, and I have so much invested at EXP. I get revenue share from other people that are brought to the company. I'd have to say goodbye to that. That's just, why would I? And then I have a large amount of stock from them, where I've gotten stock awards for being an icon. I've gotten stock awards for my first closing, for bringing people to EXP in their first closing. You just get all these stock awards, and they're starting to vest. And I told, they were offering me a large amount of money. And I said, unless it's going to be somewhere near $750,000, it really makes no sense for me to walk away. 0 cents. And they were offering some stuff, and they were offering some cash. And I just told them, I was like, there's it's not going to work.
Doesn't
So
make sense.
yeah,
That's awesome.
that's why I stay. And I absolutely love everything about it. I think moving to EXP was the #1 best decision of my entire real estate career.
Wow. Incredible. Life-changing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And, David, obviously you stay busy. Okay. So you're a dad, you're an icon agent. I heard that you've got a team there that's talking to you, helping you keep your addresses straight. And, you got a lot going on. You're a busy guy. So that being said, how do you take care of David? How do you make sure you're not on burnout mode and, just that you're at your best trying to keep that work-life balance?
Yeah, I would say I've hit burnout. Probably it was a little over a year ago during COVID, and I just was working. And at the beginning of COVID, I just laid everyone off. I killed the team. I didn't know what was happening. Everybody thought the world was burning down. Nobody knew what was happening. So I kind of shut the team down for a short period of time. It was about 6 months before we restarted back up. And in that time, I just grinded, just grind. Had a really good year, had best year ever last year, and hit the burnout. But I realized that vacations make me keep going. I learned that last year. So I always have a vacation on the books. I always have something to look forward to and a time to relax. I've also learned that I have to delegate. I'm really good at a lot of things in real estate, but other people are just as good, and you can delegate things to them. So I have learned to delegate things. I've learned to put processes and procedures in, because you either have money or you have time. And sometimes there's times where you can't have both, but if you can delegate, you can get your time back and still have money. Right. So with delegation, you can't have both.
Yeah, that's smart. With delegation, you can have time and money, but you still got to work hard for both of them. And I think that's great, David. That's great advice. And, you said you were in Washington State. So I'd like to take a minute to kind of talk about how you iconed there, right? So like what you're going to have to sell in Washington State is probably a little different than some of our icons have to sell in Alaska, or, a little difficult compared to, what the icons in LA have to sell like $4-5 trillion houses, and, they've hit it. So, I'd like to know what it looks like in your market to icon. Yeah. And what you took away from the Icon Award. Did you like the stock options the most, or, whatever you felt like, maybe you even just like the award. I don't know, just the best takeaway from the Icon Award and how you give back, right? So were you a mentor? Are you somebody that vets other icons? Just the Icon Award through David's eyes.
Yeah, so I'm third award icon. I turn the camera, but then I can never get it back right. They're just sitting over there. They are pretty. It's funny. My very first one is chipped because my photographer was messing with them. So,
thanks. You're grounded.
Yeah. He sent me a cool picture that he took, so made up for it. But absolutely love it. So I've done it 3 times. I've done iConversations, and I've done the vetting. I kind of chose the vetting because it was the easy way out. And what it looks like for us to become icon here in Washington State, in my area. So I'm just south of Seattle. So we have a pretty high, a decent median in home price here. So we're right around that 500 mark, depending on what county or what area you're in, 500 to 600. And so I have to sell about 5 or 6 personal houses. For the team, that means like 10, so if I give them to my buyer's agents, they sell 10. So I cap, and then I just sell those other 20 houses. I call it 21. It's not really 20 because your first one's a partial. So you cap, and then you sell 21 houses and you're icon. First year I did it about a month before it ended, and I sold an extra 4 above that. And then the next year I made it and sold probably 6 or 7. This last year, I made it halfway through the year. I don't even know how many over the 20 I sold. But yeah, it's a good feeling to know. There's no other company that I know of that if you are a producer, you get your cap back in stock. And so that was really exciting to me when I was looking at it as a company. I'm like, well, I'm going to do that. Like I'm going to be an icon. So I'm going to get my cat back in stock. So really, I essentially am working with no cap, right? You have to do a couple things, like you were saying, your obligations. I enjoyed doing eye conversations the most. I think if you're at EXP and you're not going to, and you're an individual independent agent and you're not going to eye conversations every Friday morning, you're wrong. You need to be going to it. There's no other brokerage where you get 4 or 5 of the top agents producing across the country, sitting down, sharing their secrets.
Yeah.
Every Friday, there's gold. I will turn that on in the background and listen and hear things and implement it in my business. There's always something you're going to hear. There's a script you're going to hear. There's a service you're going to hear about. There's a way to run your business. There's suggestions like work your sphere or your past clients, continue to stay in contact with them. Like that's something I hear almost at every single one of them. So, and then the icon community has been amazing. If you're a producing agent, you're part of the icon community. There's a private workplace, which is part of Facebook kind of thing group. And that you pass referrals. I can pass referrals to other icon agents. I don't have to worry about it being a brand new agent and them not knowing what they're doing. It goes to another icon agent. So the community is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And, those, like you said, those referrals, they give you, a sense of reputation. You know that they're going to get it done. You know that, your reputation is protected within that. And I just think that that's really cool. There's a lot of collaboration here, and it really makes it worth it. And, David, I'd like to know, for the newbies watching, if there was ever a time that maybe you missed icon or almost missed icon, or what you were thinking your first year when you came here, is icon even something achievable for a first year newbie to EXP? So what's some advice? What can they be looking out for? Is there something else they should be focusing on other than iconing on their first year? Let them have it. Be honest.
Anything's possible. I'm going to say that. The sky's the limit in real estate. It's how hard are you going to work? And that's what you're going to get out of it. So it is possible. There are plenty of people that first year in real estate, they've made icon. There's plenty of people. So don't count yourself out from doing it. I would say in your first year, learn as much as you can. Go to that eye conversations, listen to every class, do everything you can, and then find your lane and get really good at it. So at this point in my career, I have multiple lanes that I operate in, right? I have multiple lanes of business coming into us. But in the beginning, you can get a little bit like chasing something amazing, chasing that golden goose, chasing this, chasing that. Find something you're good at and just stick with it and go. And listen to others. At EXP, the collaboration is amazing, and you can get in there in EXP world and you can go to any class, learn about anything from the top people now at this point around the world, and just take your business to a whole nother level. Great thing for a new agent, if you're coming to EXP, is you have to be driven. We're not going to come in there and say, I need you to do this. I'm not going to hold your hand and make you go to these classes. You have to go to them. But you have every opportunity in the world being here with some of the top agents from around the world. So you've got to take initiative. You've got to go and do it. Anybody can. And then second, pretty close to that would be get a coach. Get a coach. You can get a coach at any level. I have a coach. Coaches at the beginning level, you can get for a little bit less. You can find another agent to maybe that might coach you. And then as you move up, and then coaches get more and more and more expensive. But they coach you and they hold you accountable. And that's great.
It's incredible. It's okay to lean into your mentors. And I stand by the fact forever and always that you must spend money to make money. If you want to get better, you have to spend money. Whether you want to get better in your personal life, it's going to require probably hiring a therapist. If you want to get better in your professional life, you're probably going to need to hire a coach. I mean, these are just things that the best of the best do that. The best of the best invest in themselves and their mental health. They invest in themselves and their business. They invest in themselves and their family life. They should anyway in their family life. Those are 3 very important tiers to success and a well-rounded life. I guess somebody who sees fiscal success over life success is a little different. You don't have to invest in your family, but whatever.
Anybody operate, if you want to be an icon, so just if you want to be an icon, you have to start acting like people that are icons, right? And you look at anybody, whether it's an icon in real estate in EXP, or you're an icon athlete, or you're an icon in business. I challenge you to find one icon level type person in any industry, in any sport, that doesn't have coaches. And in most cases, they're going to have multiple coaches. I just met Brent Goff for the first time. I believe it was Monday morning. This last Monday morning, I met Brent. He actually came to our little town here and was speaking. And he has a coach, and he doesn't produce real estate anymore. He doesn't sell real estate anymore. He only recruits. It's what he does. But and he mentors. Like, I don't want to say he only recruits. He does a ton. He gives a lot back. But he has a coach, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ollie Williams, who coaches, has a coach, right? I guarantee you, Glenn Sanford has a coach. Everybody, Kyle Whistle, like all these top people, all have coaches. And if you feel you've hit a ceiling, you've got to go get a coach. And like you said, even in your personal life, I have people that mentor into me in my personal life. I don't necessarily call them a coach, but I have people that I look to. For my family, I have people that have great families that I go to, and I'm like, hey, what? Kids are weird. And like, so I got 4 kids, and they're from 20 years old down to 4 years old. So like, large gap, right? And one of them in the middle is special needs. And I got to go and talk to people and ask them to coach me through some stuff. So you aren't alone. Go get a coach.
Absolutely. I agree. And, lean into the free training that EXP gives you. Lean into, you've got, their tools are all laid out for you. You just have to pick them up and be ready to use them. And I think that's great advice, David.
Yeah, we have success coaching now, which is tied to EXP. So I have one of those. You can go on there. There's all different levels that you can get into. So if you're coming to EXP, we actually own Success Magazine, which has success coaching. So we're slowly taking over the world. We're like Amazon. We're just going to buy everything. Success coaching is owned by EXP. You're going to get a great rate by going to them when you're with us. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great piece of advice. I've always had people say like, oh, do this, do that, find an accountability partner, but to actually send them somewhere, that was great. David, and to bring us to our final question, because we're coming up on 25 minutes, this has been an awesome podcast. I would like to know, to either yourself those years ago, looking from the outside in at EXP, seeing the greener grass and hearing the things like, oh, they're a cult, oh, they're a pyramid scheme, don't make the jump, don't drink the Kool-Aid. What would you have to say to yourself, or, somebody watching right now that's on the fence about EXP?
Yeah, 2 things. I wish I would have seen it sooner.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have moved over sooner. And I wish I would have recruited people sooner. Yep. I'm not a big recruiter. People come to me and ask me questions about it. I don't go out too much. Mm-hmm. Somebody may ask me questions, or I might say, hey, you should look at it. And I'll maybe send them something on the company. But I wish I would have come over sooner. And I came when they had, I think they just hit 10,000 agents within the first couple of months of me coming over. Mm-hmm. We are at 78,000 agents now worldwide. Like, why didn't I tap into that? Why didn't I get 1% of that or a 0.5% of that, right? Of that growth. So I wish I would have came over sooner. I wish I would have recruited. And anybody looking at it and you're on the fence, all the top people have come over here. It makes no sense not to. I just heard from other people in the industry. They think that in the next, I can't remember if they said it was 5 years, maybe in 5 years, they think we're going to be at 500,000 agents, 500,000 agents. I will say it makes no sense to be at any other brokerage, especially if you're a producing agent. If you're a producing agent, just go to EXP, give it a try, sit with it for 6 months. I hate change. I'm learning that I need to embrace change.
The only thing in life that doesn't change is that there will be change.
I know.
Isn't that ironic?
I gotta get used to it. So make the change, look at it, do it for 6 months. I guarantee you won't regret it. I haven't met anybody that hasn't enjoyed being at this company.
I love that. No, you're so right. I haven't either. And, I heard one icon say that somebody felt like, when they left EXP because they felt like they didn't get enough support. And that's the thing, you are going to have so much support out at EXP, but nobody's going to pounce on you. You have to be a self-starter. You have to be an entrepreneurial mind to be here at EXP, and the world will be yours. But you have to be willing to say, hey, I've got a question. I need help. And guess what?
Just walk in. Look at our trading calendar. Nobody has a trading calendar like we do. No brokerage has a trading calendar.
Like Facebook groups, avatars that you can work with. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
There's probably 50 or 60 classes today that you can go to.
You're right. 100%. And it's like, get in there, get better. There's just no excuses. And come on over to EXP. If you have any questions, ask David. Get together with him. And even if you're not in Washington State, I don't care. You could be in New York. You could be on the exact opposite side. And
if you're in multiple, if you're licensed in multiple states, I'm just going to say it. You're dumb if you're not with EXP. You have one brokerage, one cap. That's it. No matter how many states, you can be in 16 states.
Yep. Chef's kiss. Like, EXP is a life hack. They've got it all. If you want to succeed and you want to kill it, just come join us for a couple months, and you can always go back to your old brokerage, but I bet you won't want to.
They'll let you back. Every brokerage wants you.
Of course.
It's a numbers game.
Totally. But the numbers work best in your favor. Put them down.
It's agent-centric.
Put them down.
Agent-centric broker is the only one that's agent-centric.
And once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
Yep, that's true.
Well, David, it's been an awesome episode with you today. Are you going to be at EXPCon or shareholders or both?
I will for sure be at EXPCon. I might be at shareholders. It's across the country, and it's on an odd day this year, which doesn't necessarily work with my schedule. So we were just looking at it yesterday. So I might be at EXP at shareholders, but I will be at EXPCon.
Cool. I'll be at both. So just let me know and we'll catch up.
Yes, for sure. Look forward to meeting you in person.
Yeah, me too. Sounds good, David. David, thank you so much for your time today, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.